Hi, welcome to Teaching with Mrs. Perazzi. The goal of this is to help anyone who is home right now with a little extra lesson that they can have. Especially, I know my kids have not received any work from their school, and this might be a good way just to keep your brains active. If you're here already and you're watching this video, Abigail, if you're watching this video, that means that you are a smart cookie because you care already about not missing out on learning. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a lesson a day. I'm also going to post some videos. There's a math game that I've had posted on there for a while. If you want to play a math game after it, it's a really good math game to keep your skills active. So here we go. So today I have my daughters, of course, they're home with me, Abigail and Sophia. That's Abigail and that's Sophia. We are going to talk about character traits. Character traits are super important all the way up to high school, and even when you're trying to find out if you want to be friends with somebody. We are going to use a book today. I'm going to use the book called Betty Bunny Loves Chocolate Cake. I'm going to model the lesson to you. After, you can use a book that you love, right, and do the same activity. After the video is over and after you complete your very own activity, feel free to upload it, comment, and just share a picture of what you did, and then people can comment about how great your work is. So if you don't have any books at home, please make sure that you go to your library page, right? Your local public library. Anyone who has a library card can log in. You can look at ebooks there. Also Scholastic.com has offered some free resources during this time. Okay, so we're talking about character traits. Now, character traits can be positive or they can be negative, right? So if you have a friend right now, whoever you're sitting with, family member, talk about your favorite friend and what makes them your favorite friend. So I'm going to start with that, and if you get confused, then you'll know what we're doing. So Abigail, tell me about your favorite friend. What's their first name?
Juliana.
Juliana. What makes
their nickname is Juju?
Juju is her nickname. So what makes Juliana such a good friend?
That she knew Paige, and then she met me, and then she met like every other girl in the whole entire class.
So would you say she's friendly?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a character trait, and that's positive. Does she include people?
Yes.
That's very good too. Sophia, what about you? Who's your favorite friend? Give me their first name.
Eva.
What makes her special? What's a character trait that makes you like her, want to hang around her?
She thinks about my feelings.
She thinks about your feelings. Okay, awesome. So today we're going to read this book, and we're going to talk about what characters say and what they do, and that will help us understand about the character trait, right? So
and then we're going to be doing math later.
Basically, we're saying say what the character says, what this character does. Okay? Now at home when you make this, it's a simple T-chart. You just need a piece of paper, right? Nothing crazy. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to read Betty Bunny Loves Chocolate Cake. At home, I hope you thought of that friend. Okay, you can always pause and take a minute, pause this video, and talk about what makes your favorite friend, what character trait. So right now I'm going to read Betty Bunny Loves Chocolate Cake. If you've never seen this book before, it's one of my favorites. So Betty Bunny is a little bunny, right? When I read this book, I always try to figure out how old she is. And I think in this story, she's about 5. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to read it, and we're going to stop when we find something that she says or she does. And girls, you can tell me. Say, I hear something she says. Oh, I saw she did something. Okay, here we go. Betty Bunny was a handful. And here she is with her parents, right? She knew this because her mother always said, Betty Bunny, you are a handful. And her father always said, your mother sure is right about that. Betty Bunny knew that her mother and father loved her, and so being a handful must be very, very good. If you're a little older, you know that being a handful is not quite the best thing to be. It means that you need a lot of care, right? You are a lot. My kids would say you're a little extra. One day after a healthy dinner of carrots, potatoes, and peas, Mother said, who wants dessert? I have chocolate cake. Betty Bunny, who is not very good at trying new things, announced, I hate chocolate cake. chocolate cake is yucky. Really? My own kids. What's chocolate cake? So, did we hear her say something? What did she say?
She does not like chocolate cake.
She says, I hate chocolate cake. And then she says, what's chocolate cake? What does that show, Abigail? Has she ever tried it before?
No.
She's never tried chocolate cake before, but she hates it. Okay, Sophia's writing, I hate chocolate cake. And spelling does not count right now when you're taking notes, right? If you're going to write formal writing or something, that's when I think it really matters, right? Okay. Here we go. So look at her pushing away that cake. Look at her face. Very dramatic.
I heard what she
I'm
does.
sure you have. What does she do?
Pushed away.
Pushed away the cake, right? So her mother gave her a piece. Let's see. Lighting's not the best in here. So her mother gave her a piece, and Betty Bunny tried it. It was the yummiest thing she had ever put in her mouth. When I grow up, I'm going to marry chocolate cake, said Betty Bunny. Did you hear that? She says what?
I'm gonna marry chocolate cake.
You can't marry a dessert, said her brother Henry. You could marry a baker who makes chocolate cake, added her sister Kate. Or you could just buy your cake at the store and then you don't have to marry anyone, said their older brother Bill. So far, she says, I hate chocolate cake. What is chocolate cake? She wants to marry chocolate cake. I think we should put that down, that she wants to marry chocolate cake.
And it's right on the back.
I know, that's a big line, right? I'm going to marry chocolate cake. Betty Bunny thought for a while. See if you could see this. I hope the color's coming out well. And here she is with her mother, right? Her mom's tucking her in, and here she is with her brother. Betty Bunny thought about it for a while. No, she finally said, I am going to marry chocolate cake. Whatever, said Belle, but you're going to have really weird-looking kids. That night, Betty Bunny's mother kissed her and tucked her in. Good night, Betty Bunny. I love you, she said. Betty Bunny looked up into her mother's eyes and said, Good night, Mommy. I love chocolate cake. Now think about it. Is there anything you love so much, like she loves her chocolate cake? Think about it at home. Is there something you love so much, just like you love chocolate cake? Like she does ice cream? You love it?
Ice cream cake.
Would you say you want to marry it?
Yes.
You would? What about you, Sophia? Is there anything you love so much that you would marry it? Or is that silly? Is that a silly thought to want to marry a piece of chocolate cake? Now, we think about her right now then.
You kill it by eating it. You have some weird, really weird babies.
That's what the brother says too. Right. So this is what makes us think maybe she's a little young, right? That she thinks she could marry chocolate cake, right? Because my girls are like, you don't marry a chocolate cake. The next day at school, Betty Bunny's teacher said, Good morning, Betty Bunny. How are you? Betty Bunny said, I am a handful and I love chocolate cake. Her teacher said, A is for apple, B is for ball, C is for cat. Betty Bunny said, A is for chocolate cake, B is for chocolate cake, C is for chocolate cake. What is on her mind right now? What is she thinking about?
She's thinking about chocolate cake.
Okay, I don't know why her voice went like that. But yeah, she's thinking about chocolate cake, and that's the only thing she's thinking about, right? So here she is. She's on the playground, right? Her friends are all running, and here she's sitting by herself. Anyone see what she's doing? Ooh, don't give it away. Let me read it to you. Has anyone ever done this? Listen to this part and see if you've ever done it. During playground time, Betty Bunny tried to make chocolate cake by mixing water and dirt. It looked a little like chocolate cake, but it didn't taste very much like chocolate cake. Betty Bunny started to cry. I want chocolate cake, she said. Her teacher told her that they had no chocolate cake at school. Betty Bunny said, I hate school. School is yucky. So Sophia is writing right now what? Share what you're writing when you're done.
She said, I want chocolate cake.
I want chocolate cake. It's the only thing she's thinking about right now. She doesn't really have a focus of anything else. And right now she's in school. She's supposed to be learning, right? And instead, she's all about her chocolate cake.
And she's spitting out the sand.
She's spitting out the sand, right? So far she pushes away her chocolate cake. What else does she do? We don't have a lot on that side, so maybe we need to add something. What else does anyone at home think that we should add? What did she do at home?
That the brother is trying to be mean to her.
But is that about Betty Bunny?
The sibling.
Who are we focusing on right now?
Betty Bunny.
Betty Bunny, right? So let's not focus on her brother when we're really trying to, unless we're talking about how she's treating her brother. Okay, let's see. Well,
And
she tried the cake, right? Ooh, you wrote, Sophia only wrote she pushed away the chocolate cake. You can't see this right now. Sophia, read what you have on says. Nice and loud.
I want chocolate cake. What is chocolate cake? She wants to marry chocolate cake. She said, I want chocolate cake.
So the first sentence, I hate chocolate cake, right? Then she decides she loves it. Now on this side, it says push away the chocolate cake. But now is she pushing the cake away anymore?
No.
No. She is what?
Kissing the cake.
She can't wait to eat it. So does she wants to have chocolate cake? She eats it, right? And she loves it. So we can say she eats it and she loves it. Here we go, moving on. After school, her mother drove her home. How was your day? You see her in the car? How was your day? She asked. I ate mud. Betty Bunny answered unhappily. I want chocolate cake. Sometimes her mother explained, you can't have what you want right now. So you need to wait, and that's called having patience. But I don't want to have patience, Betty Bunny protested. I want to have chocolate cake. That night at dinner, her mother told Betty Bunny she could not have dessert until she ate a healthy dinner. Usually Betty Bunny liked healthy food, not tonight. Tonight all she wanted was chocolate cake. Her father told her, don't come to me, hoping to get a different answer. If you're home with someone right now, like sitting with your mom or sitting with your parent or your caregiver or anybody, think about that. If you live with two people in charge of you, do you ever try to go to one, right, to get something? Like one person said no, and then you go, you do too, yeah. And then you go and try to ask the other person and see if they have a different answer.
Yeah.
So that's the father's already knowing Betty Bunny.
To my mom, can I have watch TV? She says no. I asked that. She says yes.
Oh, and Dad says yes. Oh, I see. Okay. Henry said if you were smart, you'd eat some peas. Kate said you should try some carrots. They make cake out of them too, you know. Bill said, why don't you have some chocolate cake? That's what you really want. Oh, no, wait, you can't. Ha ha. So, not very nice, right? You realize that Bill is kind of that character. Betty Bunny picked up some peas. She threw them at Henry. She threw some carrots at Kate. And worst of all, she threw mashed potatoes at Bill. They stuck to his forehead. Everyone was shocked. Even Betty Bunny was shocked. She hadn't really meant to do something so awful. So what did she start? Shout it out if you're at home. What'd she start?
She started a food fight.
She did start a food fight, and she was shocked she did it. That's because I don't think she thought about what she was doing before she did it, right? She just reacted.
Because because these three characters are the meanest three characters.
I don't know. You think they're mean? Well, then you know what? Abigail could read this, and she could analyze someone else. I picked Betty Bunny, because Betty Bunny's my favorite. Okay. Mother was not happy that Bill had teased his sister. So Mom knew Bill did something wrong. She was even less happy with Betty Bunny. She told Betty Bunny to go straight to bed. There would be no chocolate cake tonight. Betty Bunny screamed, this family is yucky. We could write that as well, right? She's writing, this family is yucky. Then she remembered she was hungry. So she crammed her mouth full of peas, carrots, and mashed potatoes and ran off to bed. There she goes. Bye-bye, she says. The way she's acting, though, think about it at home. How old do you think she is, right? Seems like she's in kindergarten, right? Based on her lesson, right, of the ABCs. And the way she's acting, right? Maybe. Or maybe you're a kindergartner and you don't act like this, right? So maybe you're surprised by her actions. And you're saying, she's got to be younger than me, right? I don't do this. When her mother came into her room to kiss her goodnight, she told Betty Bunny, sweetheart, you know that I still love you. Mommy, Betty Bunny said, you know that I still love chocolate cake. That's all she's thinking about, right? She's obsessed a little bit about this cake. Uh-oh, now look what happens. I don't know if you could tell what she's doing from this picture, but let's see. Just thinking about the cake she was not eating made her cry. Then it made her scream. Then it made her kick the wall, which hurt her foot, which made her cry all over again. Betty Bunny, her mother said, as she rubbed the little bunny's foot, I'm going to put a piece of chocolate cake on a plate in the refrigerator. It will be your piece of cake, and you can eat it tomorrow after a healthy dinner. Maybe if you know it's there waiting for you, it will be easier to be patient. What is she doing on this page?
She's banging her foot
She's banging her foot.
on the wall, and then back here.
Yeah, but what is that called? Anyone know the
she's
term
Mr.
for that?
Pout Pout Fish.
She's Mr. Pout Pout on that. And then what is she doing? What's that called when you do that? I'm sure we've all
Emotions.
done that once in a while.
You get emotions.
What's that called, Sophia? When all of a sudden you're kicking and you're shouting and you're banging your foot. A temper tantrum. So she's having a good old temper tantrum. But Mom says, listen, I'll put a piece of cake in the fridge
How do you spell that?
and we'll leave it there. Do your best spelling. It's fine. And I'll leave it there and then you can have it after, right? After you eat that healthy dinner. So Mom's coming out with a good way to help Betty. Betty Bunny stopped crying. She liked this idea, so she wanted to say something especially nice to her mother. Mommy, she said, you are a handful. She thinks that's a nice thing to say, right? This is probably my favorite part. See if you could tell what she's doing in that picture. Don't give it away, Abs. The next morning, move over just a little, Betty Bunny wanted to say goodbye to her chocolate cake before she left for school. So she opened the refrigerator and saw her piece of cake sitting on its plate. It looked so lovely. Betty Bunny knew that the cake would miss her all day while she was at school. So she picked it up and put it in her pocket. Oh my gosh. That's a big event, right? She's putting a piece of cake, smushing it into her pocket. So if we add that, Sophia, what does she do? Again, what does she say? What does she do? She put the cake in her pocket. Now, if you're taking notes, right, you don't have to have very long notes. You can say it in a short way, right? Put cake in pocket if you understand that. Okay. Ready? At school, her teacher said, Betty Bunny, you seem very happy today. Betty Bunny just giggled. There was chocolate cake in her pocket. No one knew it but her. As Betty Bunny finished munching her last carrot at dinner that night, her mother smiled. Betty Bunny, she said, you were patient and waited all day for your cake. You ate a good dinner. I'm very proud of you. Would you like to get out your cake now? Betty Bunny reached into her pocket. Her cake was gone. Instead of cake, her pocket was filled with a brown, goopy mess. How many people saw that coming? Did you know she was going to have a mushy cake in there?
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you would have put cake in your pocket like that. Bless you.
Thank you.
Anybody raising their hand down out there? I don't think so. And then look what she says. My cake! Henry said, I can't believe you put cake in your pocket. Kate said, Betty Bunny, food doesn't go in your pocket. Bill said, guess you can't marry that cake now. So silly, right?
My cake!
Her mother got her a new piece of cake, and she explained that putting cake in your pocket is not really the same as being patient. Betty Bunny finally understood. She promised from now on she would be patient. Right? You see her? Her mom is super nice.
And she won't put it in
Her
her.
mom has a lot of patience. Okay, I don't know if I would deal with that well with mushy cake in my daughter's pockets.
No, I would not.
Do you think I would deal well with that? With having
No.
mushy cake in
No.
pockets? No, ew. And so the next morning, when Betty Bunny opened the refrigerator, said goodbye to her new piece of cake, she remembered that she couldn't put it in her pocket.
So.
No, don't tell. If you've never read this, what will she do? Let's see. Ready? Oh my goodness. And that is why she stuffed it very carefully into her sock. Oh, so silly.
And
All right, so
then-
here's what we're going to do with Betty Bunny. All right, so my kids are going to sit down. Are you ready?
I want to marry chocolate cake.
All right, Abs, take a seat.
I'm gonna
Okay.
eat ice cream cake.
So here's what we're going to talk about. So here we have a chart. Now you simply can do this at home. What does she say? What does she do? Pick any book at home that's not a nonfiction book. You want a book that has a character in it that you love, that maybe does have some lines that they say, right? And definitely would be a more interesting character to you, right? So here's what we wrote so far. On this side, we wrote that she says, I hate chocolate cake. What is chocolate cake? So what we're going to do is read this and try to figure out what trait do you think Betty Bunny has, right? She wants to marry chocolate cake. She said, I want chocolate cake. This family is yucky. She also says, I still love chocolate cake. And she says, my cake. A lot of the cake, right? So over here, first she pushes away that chocolate cake. And she says she wants to have chocolate cake. She started a food fight. Really, because she couldn't have a chocolate cake. She bangs her foot because why? She can't have a chocolate cake. She has a fit, a temper tantrum. She puts the cake in her pocket, pulls out from her pocket a mushy cake, and then finally she puts that cake in her sock. So what do we think? Let me ask my girls this. What character trait would you give her? Wait, Sophia, what character trait would you give her? What did we learn about her?
That
I
she
can't
really
say.
likes chocolate
She
cake.
really likes chocolate cake. Was she able to wait to have her cake? Was it hard for her to wait? Because she had that food fight, she bangs her foot, she has that temper tantrum.
She can't wait.
That she can't wait. What's a word for not being able to wait? What is a word for not being able to wait?
Impatient.
Impatient, right? So it seems like she's impatient. So if you were to finish this chart on the bottom, you could write, I believe Betty Bunny is impatient because why? Why is she not patient, Sophia?
Because she,
Go ahead, Abs, and then
because she loves chocolate cake.
And what though?
And she's not really patient because she wants it now.
She wants it now, right? And we would have evidence to support that, right? That she starts that food fight because she's angry she can't have her cake. She puts her cake in her pocket because she can't wait. Okay, so here's what we'll do today. So for today's lesson, I want you to make your own say and do chart like this with a book you have at home. On the bottom, tell me what you discovered about your character. So I
We're
would
gonna
do
be
something
doing-
like this. My character
And next we're going to be doing math.
is impatient.
Next we're doing math.
So after I get off the phone, After I get off this video today, my kids are going to do the same activity with the book they have. Now, if your child isn't, or you are not much of a writer yet, right, you're still learning to write, remember, your spelling isn't important right now on your notes page. The other thing that's important is that I want you to draw a picture if you can't explain it. Like, if you were to have your family member read the story, Betty Bunny, to you, you could draw the picture of her having a fit, right? You don't have to write it out. Okay, so that is what your lesson is for today. I hope you enjoyed today.
Can we do math?
There is a math game. If you'd like to play the math game, all you need is a deck of cards. So for this lesson, all you needed was a book and a piece of paper.
I said, can we do like math on this?
No, not right now.
Please.
No. So after you're done with your lesson, after you're done with your paper, post a picture of it in the comments under this video, and I would love for other people to compliment any student or child who's putting their work out there. So thank you so much for coming to our first lesson, and tomorrow we will have another lesson, and we will definitely be doing a science experiment as well. So thank you so much for tuning in.
And tomorrow we're doing math.
Are we?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe we're doing math tomorrow too. Okay. So go ahead and enjoy
And
books and that too. And we'll see you soon. Bye.